Thousands of years ago, this three-dimensional existence began, or at least it appeared to begin. When it began and how it began has been the age-old question that has been toyed with but never adequately answered to this day. The information presented in this video and the companion blog site illuminatimatrix.wordpress.com lays the groundwork and the foundation for when this all began. Prepare yourself, as this information will not be easy to assimilate. You'll experience all types of emotions as you attempt to comprehend the information. If it becomes difficult to go through the whole video in one take, leave it for a while, even a few days. But do persevere and grasp as much information as quickly as you can. So if you're ready, we're going to have a look at where we came from. The screen in front of you is empty. Now imagine the empty screen is the totality of everything that is. Even though there's no shape, no color, and no sound. As you look at the screen in front of you, what do you see? You see nothing. As you look at the screen in front of you, what do you know? You know a lot. Even though you don't see anything on the screen, you still know and have locked up inside you a vast storehouse of knowing. In this scenario we're contemplating, what you know may be correct or may be incorrect. It makes no difference. You still have an incredible amount of information recorded somewhere within you, even though you can't see anything. Imagine again that all that knowing you possess has within it the power and strength to exist forever. There's no beginning and no end. You have the power and wisdom to be eternal. Imagine that you're filled with this knowing and completely possessed with this eternal power and strength. This is about as powerful as anyone could hope to be. Let's imagine that this knowing not only exists in you, but it exists in every person on the planet. It's not something you have to go out and find, it's just there, in you, and in everyone that ever walked on the face of the earth. Now imagine that someone, or a group of individuals with that same eternal power, also wanted to have your power and my power. Imagine that this group wanted to take possession of all that is ours. However, they can't take it from us by force because it's locked inside us. And it is who we are. Still, they desire to at least control it. This group wished for our power to work in unison with their power, and the enormity of that combined strength of power and knowing would make them greater than the greatest, the most massive force in existence. They would appear to be God. The information presented here will show you who and what God is, what religion is, what science and intellectualism is, and how to eliminate the control these fabricated illusory systems have on our lives. Keep watching the screen and it will be demonstrated how they went about taking control of our existence, how they took control of our reality, and took control of our eternity. It will be demonstrated how to take back that control of our existence, our reality, and our eternity right now. We'll see how to reconnect to our wisdom and awareness, which is the power and strength, the knowing of the eternal state. This wisdom and awareness is something we already have. There's nothing we have to do except reconnect to it. Here's how they disconnected us from wisdom and reality. Through a process called thinking, the root, the seed of manipulation, was planted by the patron of thinking. A patron is someone who has the right to appoint or to bestow a privilege. Let's call this patron a proton. The positive originator or father of thinking. Let's call this father of thinking thought. The seed of thinking, the seed of this patron father is neutral, not a patron or a proton, not mature enough to have seed of its own, simply neutral. We'll call this a neutron, and we'll call it the sun. This is the seed or son of the father. This neutron sun seed is one with the father proton, matching 1 for 1, only a bit smaller in size. The sun isn't the positive originator of thought, he's neutral. He's a peaceful sun. This is the beginning of thought, the beginning of thinking. The next step in the manipulation process is the thinking process, is the introduction of seduction. It's a grand concept to fabricate the concept of thinking, but just one thought isn't going to manipulate anyone loose of their connection to reality. This group of thinkers then thought to introduce something that would manufacture a form of perpetuity in this whole notion of taking control. Something that would be a place of reproducing the whole thinking process over and over and over again, endlessly, with virtually no effort other than directing the course of thinking until it reached its final conclusion of total control and the complete submission of everything unto them. The introduction of this next stage of thinking would have to cause motion, vibrations, and energy. Without motion or energy, the proton and neutron, the father and son, would lie dormant, nothing more than a thought without purpose. The concept of an opposite to the positive proton was conjured up. We'll call this elect lady the negative attraction that would perpetually spark the imagination of the father proton. We'll call this elect lady the electron. The electrons would be small, much smaller than the father proton or the neutron sun. In fact, over 1,800 times smaller. This electron would spin around the proton and neutron, held in orbit by the attraction to the male, yet keeping a distance, yet flirting endlessly for the male to pounce. But why stop there? Introduce another elect lady and another. Make it a whole harem of elect ladies, flirting and circling the male, creating a womb of protection for the seed of the father to grow and reproduce another just like themselves again and again endlessly. We'll call this womb the nucleus. This womb will be the room, the birthplace of the neutron sun seed within the womb of the mother. This mother we'll call matter. This womb of the mother, this room of matter, is called the nucleus, for it produced the nuclei of us. Matter is that which occupies space. Even though this mother electron is just a thought from the group of thinkers, it orbits the father and the son at the speed of thought, thereby occupying space, conjuring up the illusion of matter. Observe closely. The nucleus forms a hexagon in this two-dimensional demonstration. The hexagon is the form of two overlapping triangles which have been created by the electrons orbiting the proton and neutron. This hexagon is the hex placed on humanity through the adoration of the mother, the woman.